This potential deal looks like a major steal for the Los Angeles Lakers, as new reports have surfaced regarding Rob Pelinka's next move, and it has already sparked plenty of excitement among fans. There's a lot to break down here, and the implications moving forward are very interesting. Alongside this, there are also several other Lakers updates worth covering. We're now at that stage of the offseason where things have slowed down a bit. Outside of Luka Doncic, who recently gave everyone a scare with an injury scare but appears to be fine, the league has been relatively quiet. That's why this new trade rumor has quickly gained attention. Not only does it stand out, but it also feels like a move that could fit this Lakers roster perfectly. According to a recently circulated proposal, the Lakers would receive Matisse Thybulle and Robert Williams III in exchange for Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, and Dalton Knecht. From a financial standpoint, the trade balances out, and in terms of roster construction, it addresses key areas of need. For Los Angeles, it means adding a reliable defensive wing in Thybulle and a talented big man in Williams, even though his health has been a concern. In return, they would mostly be parting with salary filler plus a young piece in Knecht. The reaction to this framework has been mixed. Some believe it gives the Lakers exactly what they need: a versatile defender on the perimeter and a backup center, while still maintaining flexibility under the first tax apron to potentially add another player. Losing Knecht would sting, but there are questions about how much playing time he would realistically get under J.J. Redick. From this angle, the deal looks like a win for Los Angeles. For Portland, on the other hand, there might need to be additional compensation, such as a future second-round pick, before they seriously consider it. What stands out here is that the Lakers would keep Rui Hachimura, someone the coaching staff and front office clearly value, as part of their rotation. That alone makes this framework appealing, especially since the new additions could help in matchups against powerhouse teams like the Denver Nuggets. It's also worth remembering that Thybulle had previously shown interest in joining the Dallas Mavericks when he signed his 3-year contract. Reports from insiders like Chris Haynes and Mark Stein revealed that Thybulle wanted to play alongside Luka Doncic. With Luka now in Los Angeles, it's fair to assume that same interest could translate to the Lakers. Even if players don't get to dictate where they land, having someone who actually wants to play with your star is always a plus. For the Lakers, the upside is clear. Williams brings rim protection and energy, though his injury history makes him a gamble. And Thybulle provides defensive intensity, even if his offensive game can be inconsistent. While the Lakers have reportedly been reluctant to include Jared Vanderbilt or part with Vincent and Kleber, this specific scenario might still be worth considering if a second-round pick is added to sweeten the deal. When looking at this rumor, it's fair to ask how realistic it actually is. Right now, it's more about monitoring the situation than expecting anything imminent. Still, the idea has momentum because of how these players would fit. Matisse Thybulle, for instance, comes off a solid, albeit short, stint with the Portland Trail Blazers last season. He averaged 7.5 points per game and showed flashes of regaining confidence in his outside shot. His offensive game relies heavily on the three-pointer, and while his career average hovers around 34.3%, if he could elevate that mark consistently to 35 to 36% on decent volume, his overall value would rise considerably. But his true calling card has always been defense. Thybulle consistently grades among the league's best perimeter stoppers, using his length and instincts to disrupt opponents. In limited minutes last year, he averaged two steals per game, an elite mark when you consider he was only playing about 20 minutes per night across 15 games. His defensive impact speaks for itself. Pairing him with Marcus Smart on the floor at the same time would give the Lakers one of the most disruptive defensive tandems in basketball, capable of suffocating opposing guards and wings. This interest in Thybulle isn't new. Reports earlier in the offseason indicated that he was on the Lakers' radar, alongside names like Robert Williams and Andrew Wiggins. Those rumors came out even before the team acquired Marcus Smart, showing that Los Angeles has been eyeing defensive-minded players all summer. The strategy is clear: add toughness, versatility, and proven defenders, to complement the offensive firepower of Luka Doncic and LeBron James. More recently, Yahoo Sports floated another version of a potential deal. Robert Williams heading to Los Angeles in exchange for Gabe Vincent, Dalton Knecht, and a 2032 second-round pick. That scenario assumes the Lakers prioritize Williams alone rather than a package with Tibula. From a roster-building perspective, it feels like Tibula might actually be the more attractive option right now. The Lakers' bench depth remains a concern, and adding a defensive specialist who can give 15-20 quality minutes per game could be more valuable than rolling the dice on Williams' health. Looking at the second unit, names like Vincent, Jared Vanderbilt, Jackson Hayes, and Smart form the backbone, but another reliable wing defender would add balance. And while Gabe Vincent brings experience, his inconsistency makes it questionable how many meaningful minutes he should be getting. In contrast, Tibula's defensive presence is something the Lakers could lean on every night. Even without being a ball handler, his ability to lock down opponents could be game-changing, especially when used in lineups alongside Smart. That duo could hide some of Luka's defensive shortcomings, while still giving the team strong perimeter coverage. Imagine a lineup of Luka Doncic, Marcus Smart, Tibula, LeBron James, and DeAndre Ayton. Offensively, it might not be as dynamic as other combinations, but defensively, it has the potential to smother opponents. Smart can guard the primary scoring threat, Tibula takes on the second option, and LeBron plus Ayton provide size and rim protection. Meanwhile, Luka remains free to focus on orchestrating the offense. As for Robert Williams, his role would be more straightforward, a backup big who brings rim protection and energy. If Maxi Kleber were moved in such a deal, Williams could step in to cover those minutes while offering more athleticism, though his durability remains a gamble. Dalton Knecht's inclusion in these trade talks makes sense as well. While he's a promising young player, he hasn't carved out a spot in the regular rotation. Depth charts show him buried in the third unit, and if the Lakers don't plan to expand his role, moving him while his value is still intact could be the smarter play. Otherwise, his trade value risks dropping if he spends another year glued to the bench. The same logic applies to Kleber, who has reportedly had a good offseason. If the Lakers want to keep him, he'll need a clear role. If not, packaging him in a deal like this might be the better path forward. In many ways, this is about asset management, using the pieces that aren't central to the team's plans to bring in players who can make an impact right away. Dalton Knecht's situation is a tricky one. As a recent first-round pick, his value isn't sky-high at the moment, but this might still be the right window for the Lakers to consider moving him. Some would argue it's actually the worst time, since his stock is at its lowest after spending much of last season on the bench. But the reality is clear. If the coaching staff doesn't plan on giving him a consistent role, then keeping him around only diminishes his trade value further. Knecht entered the league with plenty of promise, showing flashes of being a capable scorer early in his career. However, as rotations tightened, he found himself buried behind more experienced players, and his minutes steadily declined. By the end of the season, it was apparent that the Lakers prioritized other options on the wing, particularly someone like Jake LaRavia, who just earned a 2-year, $12 million contract. That decision signals where the organization's priorities lie and raises legitimate questions about Knecht's long-term fit with the roster. For a team still looking to maximize the remainder of LeBron James's tenure, the priority has to be winning now. That means surrounding LeBron, Luka Doncic, and DeAndre Ayton with proven role players who can contribute immediately. Holding on to a young prospect who isn't breaking into the rotation does little to move the needle in the short term. Instead, converting that asset into players like Robert Williams or Matisse Thybulle, who can address glaring needs defensively, could prove far more valuable. Of course, there's always risk in trading a young player too soon. Knecht might eventually develop into a solid contributor elsewhere, and some will see that as the Lakers giving up prematurely. But the franchise has to weigh the bigger picture. LeBron won't be around forever, and the window to build a legitimate contender is right now. Keeping Knecht in a limited role not only stunts his growth, but also wastes an opportunity to extract value from him while there's still interest around the league. The Lakers front office has shown a willingness to be aggressive in reshaping the roster this summer, and Knecht's situation fits into that broader theme. Whether it's packaging him with other pieces for a defensive specialist like Thibault, or using him to balance out a deal for a big man like Williams, the message is clear. The team is prioritizing immediate impact over long-term development. At the end of the day, the Lakers have to decide, do they believe Knecht can fight his way into the rotation and justify a larger role? Or is it better to move him now before his trade value dips even further? For a franchise that is all in on competing, the answer may already be leaning toward the latter.